Hello, welcome back to the road to episode 8, my ongoing series, which charts the road to the release of Star Wars episode 8, The Last Jedi, on the 13th of December 2017, and the 14th and 15th of December 2017 around the rest of the world, except for China, I think, which again, I think doesn't get the film till January.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares, I know, I feel so compelled.
Just list all of it.
I know,
you're fucking OCD.
I enjoy, like, building the intro up over the years, like it just starts, hello, welcome to the road to episode 8, and then I can put the date in, then the full title, and then
Plus,
I know.
you enjoy having to say it so fast and flawlessly.
I don't say it flawlessly, that's the thing, it gets all jumbled. Anyway, look, we're going to watch The Force Awakens. It is the 12th of December still. If you saw the previous video, I watched bits of Return of the Jedi. Now, to finish off this rewatching series over the past 4 days, me and Connie are going to watch The Force Awakens, Episode 7. Now, I own the film 3 times over, which is, you know, I've really tried not to do that anymore, but I couldn't help myself. So, in getting ready to watch this tonight, I thought, okay, cool, let's get the Blu-ray out. Got the nice collector's edition packaging right there. I won't watch it in 3D, of course, but I opened this up, and the disc isn't there. I don't know where it is. I thought, well, okay, this is where it's good that I've got multiple copies. So I picked up my UK Dark Side slipcover edition. Opened this up, and the disc isn't in there. I mean, the bonus discs are both there, but we're not watching that, so I don't know where they are. I've obviously taken them somewhere. I don't know what the deal is. I have to try and find them. But I had the first copy that I picked up the film on, which is the Target Flimsy as Hell edition. But it's quite a nice one that folds out with nice imagery and stuff. And thankfully, it had the disc inside, and thankfully the disc is region free because this is an American release. So it's a pretty good thing I had 3 copies because I don't know where the hell those other 2 discs are. Now, Connie, seeing as you were so ignorant to not join me for Empire Strikes Back last night, which I don't think I'll ever quite forgive you for, what are your thoughts on The Force Awakens going into it now? You've seen it a few times, right?
I've seen it twice, I think.
Twice? No.
Yeah.
No, because obviously you saw it in the cinema, right?
Yeah, once.
Yeah. You saw it in the cinema.
You saw it like 20 times in the cinema.
I see it 20 times in the cinema. So you saw it once in the cinema.
I might have seen it 3 times.
3
but
times,
like
I think.
The third, like one of the times that's just been like on and off
Alright,
while
yeah.
I've been doing stuff.
Okay.
And maybe in bed and stuff, but.
So your thoughts on the film? Like, just your general opinion of it before we rewatch it?
I just really think it's great.
Okay.
I mean, it's a real message to all women out there. Could stay serious. No, I do think it's great, and I can't wait to see where they're going with this.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, like everybody's seen this, so there's no spoiler
No,
for
no,
me to
no.
say what happens and stuff.
Hand dies!
Yeah, I'm really gutted about that. I guess it's necessary, but I just really love him, and so that was really sad.
Yeah.
Every time I watch it, I'm still gonna be like, just walk away.
Yeah.
Don't walk out of the fucking bridge. Just leave him alone, you know? Like, every time he dies. So, he just doesn't listen.
The thing that I like is that I was never the biggest Han Solo fan, so it didn't bother me as much, but I do love Han Solo, and I never thought I'd get to see Harrison Ford come back to do it. I never thought in a million years. So the fact that he is a big part of this film, he's not just a throwaway cameo, he has a substantial part to play, that's awesome. And I'm going to enjoy that every time that he came back to do this film. So, you know, Han got his movie in this one, and I'm hoping that the next one will be Luke's movie, kind of. We'll see. So we're going to watch it. Connie has cooked chicken tandoori, which
I love, and Luke just thinks it's okay. Isn't
my favourite, but it's still nice, and so I'm looking forward to that.
See, I can live with nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I love it.
Time for Force Awakens, time to round off this thing, and I'm looking forward to rewatching it. I haven't seen it since my birthday last year, which has been a year and a half since then. Anyway, so on with the film. Let's check it out. And here we start with the completely silent intro. But I remember how excited I was when I saw this for the first time, knowing that this was the first new Star Wars film in 10 years. And I'd imagined seeing an Episode 7 crawl, like, since I was a kid, so... Luke Skywalker is... And that was just exciting. Luke Skywalker's vanished, like, fuck, what? So, yeah. Gonna enjoy this and enjoy the dinner. The Last Jedi, there we go! Until Luke Skywalker, The Last Jedi. There you go. It's in the crawl of the first one, or the 7th one. Okay, we are 39 minutes and 11 seconds into the film. I just took an extended break to edit the Return the Jedi vlog from earlier. So now that's done and rendering. We're going to continue. Any thoughts on the first half an hour so far?
I've seen the movie before, and it's just...
Oh, okay. Well then. Well, I'm enjoying it. Considering
I'm
that
enjoying it too, but like any thoughts, it's like we're watching it for the first time. And
No.
I have new thoughts about it. I've reviewed the movie before. It's a great movie.
You've never reviewed the film before.
Sure.
Nope, you haven't. But it's, you know, sometimes you see new things. Sometimes you enjoy it better, or you enjoy it less.
I noticed that she was living inside of a walker.
There you go. You never noticed that.
I don't think so. No.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go.
I never really looked at what kind of record she was living in.
That's the kind of details I'm looking for when I ask you what your thoughts are. For fuck's sake. Well, I could be a good ventriloquist.
No, you just asked me what my thoughts are so far. Everybody knows that I love the movie. You didn't ask me if I noticed something new and different.
Well, I should ask you if you noticed something new and different. No, maybe not. Alright, on with the film.
Chewie, we're home.
One thing I've always loved is how the reveal of Han being Kylo's dad is just dropped 45 minutes into the film. Like, they could have strung that out right till the end. I was just so surprised. It was such a breath of fresh air to get something like that and be like, wow. So, just wanted to note that. I love that about the film. That it kind of just gets it right out there. Done with The Force Awakens. It really held up. Like, it really fucking held up. I don't know. I kind of feel like how I felt when I first watched this film. I'd never be able to feel that again. And I won't. But I felt a semblance of it. And that's good enough for me. Like, just moments that still get to me, that still move me, because of the build-up of all that history and story that's gone into all these movies, and the history of those characters who return in this film, but also the investment in the characters who are introduced in this film. I love the character of Rey and Finn and Poe as well. Obviously he's a lesser character, and it's kind of crazy that he was originally going to be killed off at the beginning of the movie, and you know, things changed, and I'm glad they did, because I think Oscar Isaac is perfect Star Wars material. He just slots so perfectly into that world, I think, just his character. What did you think?
Great as ever.
Great as ever. Do you have anything you want to say about it, or?
No.
No? Oh, wow, okay. Well, I certainly would have a lot to say.
It's just that I look so much forward to the next one.
Talk about getting excited for the next one. It's throughout I was just thinking I'm going to get to see the next part of this tomorrow, and that was just
in 11 hours you're watching it.
in 11 hours. It's just so, like, I remember when the ground splits after the duel between Kylo and Rey. When I saw that for the first time, I was like, oh yes, because I was getting worried that they were going to kill Kylo off in the first one, and because I just love that character. I think he's so interesting. There's so much you can do with a character like that, and I hope we see in an interesting way in The Last Jedi. It's just so much so many ways you can go with that, and then the way that Rey ties into all that, and I'm not going to turn this into a big why I think Rey is Luke's daughter video, and in less than 12 hours I'll probably know. I'm assuming they're going to address it.
I sure hope so. It'll be frustrating if they don't.
It will be, yeah. I think it needs.
A lot of people are going to, fuss about it.
Yeah. And again, I'm not going to go into that, but I think that she is, and I think that while it might seem like an obvious choice or too, what's the word? Oh, too predictable. Sometimes predictable isn't the worst thing. It's all about how it works into the story. What?
It would be silly if she wasn't.
It would be. To me, I've said before, I can't remember where I've said it, but I think that if she was Leia's daughter, then it just doesn't fit Leia's character. I feel like Leia would stick to her guns and protect her daughter, not send her away. I mean, she sent Kylo away, but she sent him away with her brother Luke, who she trusted. I don't buy it. It doesn't fit the character of Leia, who's tough as nails and will just fight anyone. It just doesn't make sense. And then when they see each other at the end and they hug, yeah, it's a pretty emotional hug, but it doesn't feel like a hug from a mother who hasn't seen her daughter in 10 years. I don't know. Call me crazy. And then you have all this build-up.
Again, the way Han Solo is looking at her, it's like a father
no,
would look at a
it is. Han does look.
pride.
Yeah, but there's just no way. I don't.
It makes sense, kind of, to me. I kind of hope that she's his brother. That would make it hard for her to stay away from the dark side, maybe.
I suppose, but it doesn't fit to me. It doesn't fit, and I don't know. If it does turn out to be true, it's all about how it's handled, of course. But I do think it kind of harms things because it doesn't fit.
Rey, I am your brother.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
No!
It doesn't. I hope she doesn't scream like that, like a dying cat. It wouldn't. I don't know, man. I don't know. It just doesn't fit Leia's character. Bottom line, it just doesn't. Whereas Luke, he's left everything behind. It fits his character, right? That he turned his back on everything. I don't know. Including his daughter. And then if she isn't the daughter of Luke or Leia, then who is she? She's been built up to be someone. The Skywalker lightsaber, Excalibur, pretty much calls to her. It's like Maz Kanata says, that was Luke's lightsaber and his father before him, and now it calls to you. I mean, it's pretty, I don't know, it seems quite obvious to me. Anyway, I love the film. I think the score's great. The score has grown on me so much. I remember when I first saw this, I thought the score wasn't that good, because I wasn't really taking it in. Just Kylo's theme, Rey's theme, that kind of resistance theme that they use throughout the... Well, yeah, we get the reprisal of those. It does. It gets to me. I love the reunion between Han and Leia. I remember...
C-3PO has to fucking ruin it.
I like that.
You're about to fucking cry, and then he's like, "It is I, C-3PO. You might not recognize me because you're red on."
I liked it. I'm up and down with 3PO, but I liked that moment. But I remember when the film came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh, that was terrible. Leia's voice just sounded old." It's like, she's old. Just get over it. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was just, you changed your hair, same jacket. It felt like Han and Leia to me. My mum cried at that, actually, which I thought was really cool. We watched it with my mum last year on my birthday, and you know what my mum's like when it comes to films. What do you think? Oh, it was alright. Oh, it was shit. After this, I said, "What do you think?" And she went, "I fucking loved it." You rarely hear that from my mum, and she really liked the original trilogy, not so much the prequels. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anything else I can say about The Force Awakens? Love it. I just love it. It has great action, it has great comedy, it has great special effects, great cinematography, great music, great character, great acting. I think the acting is some of the strongest, if not the strongest, of the whole series. When you look at, how great Daisy Ridley is in that interrogation scene, how great Adam Driver is just in general. And I love the reveal of him taking that mask off, and you find out that it's all bravado and he's just this, almost a kid. He's pretty young and fresh-faced and doesn't fit the look of this imposing figure that he's presenting himself to be. And I love the idea that he's hero-worshipping Darth Vader, even though he would surely know that, Anakin kind of redeemed himself at the end. But and Snoke is an interesting one. I can't wait to see what more we'll see from Supreme Leader Snoke.
He's going to be completing his training.
Completing his training. I mean, Andy Serkis is great, you know, pretty much in everything he does. He has such a power to his voice, and yeah, I think that'll be hopefully be a highlight of The Last Jedi, is Snoke having more of a part to play. What else is there? Yeah, again, I love how they went to real locations. They used practical effects. They used practical creatures. They used CGI too, but it worked together, and it's great. Man, these are long credits. You know, a lot longer than the original trilogy for sure. The scene with Han and Kylo on the bridge, brilliant. Just brilliantly done, and I think I mentioned it before. I must have mentioned it before. The way that you see the lighting on Kylo's face is half blue, half red, showing the kind of the duality of the conflict within him. And then when the sun gets drained, his face comes completely red. Very nice kind of symbolism there. But played so well by both of them, and it gets me the most. It doesn't get me when Han dies. It gets me when Chewbacca just goes mental and just starts shooting everyone in sight and just blows the whole thing.
No, the way that Han looks at Kylo Ren afterwards,
yeah,
and just
touches his face, yeah, just
like
Harrison,
kind of like I do still love you kind of way, but at the same time, like,
how could you do this?
Yeah.
But you know, it's loaded. It's a brilliant kind of silent moment there from. I mean, Harrison Ford I think was fantastic. He had the humor and the wit, but he brought the feeling to it, even in the scenes with Leia. You know, like the last scene they have together where she says, "I always hated seeing you leave," and he's like, "That's why I did." There's great lines in it. You know, when Han says, you know, "We can't save our son," you know, Luke couldn't save him and he's a Jedi. And Leia says, "Well, Luke's a Jedi, you're his father." Really just great writing. Which is probably what the prequel trilogy was missing for the most part. Just some really good bits of dialogue. So, that's it. Tomorrow, The Last Jedi. Continuation. For me, yeah. Connie's not going to see it until Friday, and I'm going to go and see it again with her, obviously. That was always going to happen, I think. So, yeah, a lot of people rag on this film. They say, "Oh, it's a remake of A New Hope," and I've completely gone into that before, but I think that it's reminiscent, but it's its own movie to me. Maybe it treads a little bit too much into the... Just a few bits, you know. Like when, Leia says, like, "You've never done anything right," or... "Don't say the Death Star," or whatever, like, "You're Han Solo, you did the Kessel Run in less than 14 parsec." No, 12 part. Like, a few of those lines are a little bit kind of fan servicey, I will say, I will admit. And I do think, you know, maybe don't blow up the Starkiller base in the first movie. Because I don't know what they're going to kind of present as a bigger thing in the next two films. I kind of hope that wouldn't happen. But...
Supermassive black hole.
Supermassive black hole! Their base is just a black hole. Which, yeah. It's like, what more could you do? Oh, the galaxy headquarters, like the whole base is just an entire galaxy. I don't know. It's how do you go bigger than that? And I didn't mind when people were saying, "Oh, I can't believe they're doing another Death Star." It makes sense to me that the next iteration of the Empire would be egotistical enough to say, "Well, we're going to do bigger than the Death Star." That makes perfect sense to me in the realm of evil in a fairy tale story. You know, bigger, badder, better, more destruction, and so on. And Captain Phasma, I hope we see more of that character in the next one, because it felt like it built up Captain Phasma so much in the run-up to The Force Awakens, and she's in it for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The pace of the film, it's blistering. It just doesn't feel like a 2+ hour movie to me. Like, it just moves along, and I don't know, I just love everything about it. It's probably one of my favourite films, I think. And it'll be intriguing to see how The Last Jedi matches up to it, but I know it needs to be a progression. It needs to be a different kind of film, so...
It's also, like, one of the movies overall that I'm the most...
Overall? Okay, alright, yeah.
One of, yeah.
Well, it's been a great year for films, it really has, in terms of genre films, particularly Blade Runner, science fiction, you know, War for the Planet of the Apes, science fiction, Logan, comic book movie, you know, just some really great genre films. So, but this was always going to be my most anticipated, was The Last Jedi. And I predict, the only thing I predict with The Last Jedi is I'm going to feel gutted afterwards. Not in a, "Oh, I'm gutted because it was a bad film," but gutted in just that kind of, ugh, I gotta wait 2 years for the next one. With The Force Awakens, It was a great ending, you know, it was a great promise of things to come, but I feel like The Last Jedi, something really bad has to go down at the end of that film, because they need to, you know, it's the 3-act story. Episode 9 needs to be this big underdog fight to save the universe, you know, so something really bad has to happen at the end of The Last Jedi. We're not going to end on a happy note. So I just have a feeling I'm going to be really, considering how much I care about these films and these stories, it's going to really impact me. And I'm going to leave that cinema just feeling dazed and all over the place, probably.
At least you know you're going to be watching it in 2 more days again.
Yeah, and everyone who I've heard who's seen it said that you need to see it more than once. You know, need to digest things. So there's you know, the first Twitter reactions came out from the people who went to the premiere on Saturday a few days ago, and it was overwhelmingly positive for the most part. People saying it's the best Star Wars film ever, which is to be expected. People saying it's as good as Empire, which is to be expected, and some people saying it's in the top 3, which is also to be expected, I guess. Some people who said it was really good, had some flaws, so you know, there's been a mix, but mainly positive reactions. I heard that, actually no, I won't even say, just in case, because people could construe anything. So, one last thing, the ending of the film. For all that I loved it, it has become, I mean, we did the scene, didn't we? We did the parody of the end of The Force Awakens in 24-Hour Movie Marathon 5. So, you know, I've kind of edited a scene that's similar to that, like, for hours. And the scene has been parodied to death. So I thought that when we watched this again tonight, I was going to be a bit about the ending, but it still got to me. If I sit down and just watch it, and I'm in the film and in the story, it still gets me. I think it's a great performance from Mark Hamill, where he gets to say nothing, but he has to kind of say everything with his eyes, and he was, you know, outspoken in saying he didn't like it to begin with. He was disappointed. He thought that Luke was going to turn up in the woods at the end and save the day with Kylo and Rey when he was reading the script. And when he read the ending, he just thought it's just going to be seen as people going to laugh at it, basically. But obviously he went through with it and saw how it worked with the film, and it did work. And it's a bold ending to go with, I think. But ultimately the whole film was about Luke. But now, with The Last Jedi, we get the Luke movie, which I'm the most excited about. So, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. This has pretty much been the last building up video now. Thankfully, mercifully, if you've watched this all the way through, well done. Tomorrow will be the final video in the road to episode 8, because it ends when I see the film. And you'll see my first spoiler-free reactions. Actually, one more thing. The moment in the cinema when I first watched this that hit me the most emotionally was the scene when Kylo's trying to call to him the Skywalker lightsaber, what he feels is his birthright, and it swings past his face and lands right in the hands of Rey. That itself in a moment is a hit me in the chest kind of moment in terms of just the whole story and the character. But then we get that John Williams score, that music that was first heard when Luke looked out to those twin suns, the binary sunset. And to me, you know, I don't know what the technical, you know, title for that theme is, whether it's Luke's theme or the Force theme, but to me that theme is just intrinsically linked with Luke Skywalker. And when she grabbed that lightsaber, that to me was the smoking gun. That was she is a Skywalker. She's Luke's daughter. And the emotion of that just absolutely swept me away. And each time I've watched it, it still hit me, and I'm waiting for it to not. And I'm really glad that it did in this. It still hit me. Again, it was a fraction of what it hit me the first time round, but it was one of those incredible film moments that I love to experience. And that's what makes movies incredible, is when they can make you feel like that. So, there we go. That's it. Thanks for watching.